it's Megan. It is pouring rain, so if you hear the rain in the background, enjoy it. This is a review video for the Viseart, oh great, now I'm forgetting the name of these, Theory palettes, and this one is in Minx. So for those who don't know, these are new mini Viseart palettes that just are coming out right now, and they're $45. And I have too many pieces of paper, and there are 6 eyeshadows at 0.13 ounce each. So that's what it looks like, and I have it on my eyes, obviously. Normally I would have worn a nude lip with this, but with the rain and everything, I decided, you know what, let's live dangerously and go a little bit bolder. So it comes out of this cute little envelope, and you see it opens up, and this can actually form a little easel, so that you can put your little palette down and you can work with it. I used all 6 shades in the palette on my eyes. I would not do that normally, and I'll tell you why. These shades are so pretty that I kind of feel like you lose something by mixing them too much and over blending and whatever, but since I was doing a video, I figured, okay, let's use all 6. So obviously you can tell where this video is going to go. I really love this. I was lucky enough to see all 3. So there's this one. There's one called Cashmere, which is a cooler neutral. And then there's kind of a smoky eye gray neutral. And each of these is removable. And I picked this one because, well, for a number of reasons, which we'll get into later. But what do I think of the shadows? So first of all, Viseart shadows are just beautiful in my opinion. They're one of the few eyeshadow brands that I don't need to use a primer with, and they last and apply beautifully. The thing that I've commented in earlier Viseart videos is that where I put the eyeshadow, it stays. And I never really thought about that concept until I started playing with these. A lot of them just don't apply, brands don't apply in a pigmented way, and you kind of have to build it up. With a lot of the Viseart, most of the Viseart, I'm trying to think of an exception, but I can't. You just put it on and it's there. It's so pigmented and creamy and soft and finely milled and beautiful that you just apply it and it works. There's no artistry. Well, for some there's a lot of artistry, but for the people who are looking for idiot-proof makeup, there is no artistry required for these really beautiful shades. And they tend to, they're professional makeup brand, they tend to have the not, I don't know, the fanciest packaging, although it's beautiful, fine. But they tend to have a lot of really subtleties and nuances in the shades. And that is, as I've kind of played around with more and more brands, I've learned that 2 things really set apart the great makeup from the nice makeup. And one is kind of that beautiful finely milled texture, which is pigmented and applies and works on the skin. The other is the colors, and that's really, I think, where Viseart and a couple of other brands set themselves apart from the crowd. It's one thing to look really pretty when you buy it in the pan at the store. It's another thing to really work with people's skin tones. Just checking my volumes on. And I think that a lot of brands don't live up to the quality of the Viseart colors. Mostly they tend to be more subtle. These are not, they have, you know, the editorial brights, which is super bright, but for the most part a lot of these are just really flattering, beautiful, amazing colors. So I feel like I've got way too much warm tones on my face right now, but that's okay. We can live through that. So anyway, this is it, and I'm going to go through the individual shades. So did I say, yeah, these are $48. And you can see this is a super creamy, that's just one swatch, super creamy, and it's gonna blend into my skin because of the warm color. It's just not going to show on me. It's too close to my skin tone, so we'll have to see it on the finger. So what I said about this one, I said that this is a peachy bone base shade. But what's interesting about this one is that it has more pigmentation than a lot of the others. And again, sometimes I look at some of these brands, I think, okay, definitely there's a makeup artist behind it, because I never thought about that before. A lot of the bones can look ashy on certain skin tones. And because this one's got a little bit more richness, a little bit more peach in the formula, and applies so evenly and beautifully, My guess is that this is going to work on more skin tones than a lot of the other kind of bone base shades. And this would actually be really pretty on the lid as well if you want like that no makeup look someday. I'm going to do the mattes first, and then I'll do the shimmers. So the first three are going to be mattes, and then the next three are shimmers. I think my swatch was different, and my notes are different. So this is a deep neutral chocolate brown. And yes, you can have a deep neutral chocolate brown. I didn't think you could, but you can. And there you have it. And this one, again, is just a really beautiful shade to put on the lid to have a stunning natural look to your like daytime wear. You know, for work, this is a perfect palette. The nudes or the mattes on one side, and then the shimmers you could wear after, or you could use as an accent. I have the first one up here, and then I put the second one right in here in the lash line. And the last two of these are a little red, and those you might not want to put too close to the eye line without putting something else. Depends on your eye color. This right here is a gorgeous, what did I say? I said a deep, oh, I messed it up. I messed it up because I didn't go in order. That's what happens. So, this is the cool chocolate brown, and this is a warm, deep cocoa brown with a strong hint of terracotta. Let's do better swatches here. Yep, I messed it up. So, neutral chocolate brown, warm terracotta. I could reshoot the video, but that's just going to be more confusing. I forgot what I said. So I put the darker brown in the outer crease and into the, oh, and there we blend some more in, whether we want to or not. Well, you can see how beautifully it blends. I put it into the crease and into the outer eye. I'm doing really well in this video. And you can see how beautifully it blends. Look at how pigmented it is. And then I don't like super dark looks on my eye, just too much. You can see how beautifully it blends in. It's just a really stunning color. Very beautiful. So, warm brown cocoa, and then a deep neutral chocolate brown for 2 and 3. Now we're gonna go to the other side of the palette. So we've seen these three. We're gonna go here. And this one right here is, I called it a warm gold with a hint of rose. And that seems like an odd combination, but it is what it is. And I can see little bits of gold and a little bit of beige, a little bit of champagne, a little bit of rose. It's a very subtle color, but it has a beautiful sheen. So this is in the inner corner of my eyes. This has a really beautiful sheen to it. It's not metallic to the point where it gets hard or harsh. And that's always the issue I have with metallics. I can only go so cool undertone with the makeup that I wear on my eyes. And a lot of the metallics, just even the warmer colors, look too cold and cool on me and too shimmery. This is just a beautiful sheen. You don't get that. And look at how pretty those two are together. This one and this one. I can see a total eye look with those. Now I'm thinking about videos I want to do, or looks that I want to do. Okay, this one, everyone is loving this color. This has been like the highlight on a lot of blogs and stuff. And I call this a rose gold orange copper. And Urban Decay, I don't know if anyone remembers Vice 1, but in that palette they had a Lucky Penny shade. Or Penny Lane shade, I'm sorry. And everyone was crazy about that. This one, I compared it, these first two, if you combine them, they're close to Penny Lane. The one I did before this and this one. But they both have a very similar look to them, a very similar formula, although they're a little bit creamier. But this one has more pigmentation than Penny Lane did. And it has more copper to it, if that makes sense. This one looks truly like a copper penny. The last one, this one, I think some people are going to have a hard time applying, but it's a beautiful shade. So I call this a red bronze. And this obviously is a warm, I haven't been saying with every shade, this is a warm toned palette. This one is really beautiful on the lid, and it's also really beautiful as a liner. I have it lining my upper lash line here, and it's just such a stunning, amazing, beautiful, warming shade that's not too harsh. Again, you're getting a little bit of that sheen, that shimmer, but it isn't that metallic level of sheen or shimmer that looks hard and harsh and, I don't know, brassy and not good. There are lots of words that are coming to my mind, but I'm not going to say them. Cheap. Anyway. So what do I think overall? Overall, I think that this palette lives up to the Viseart formula, which if you've tried it before is just super pigmented, super finely milled, applies beautifully, wears beautifully. These last 8 to 10 hours on me. I don't have creasing problems. I don't have wear problems. I do not need an eyeshadow primer. So number one is the formula. Number two, I think the shades in all three of these palettes are stunning. For my coloring, this was the one that I liked the best, but I've actually seen the others on people online, and they're just really beautiful. It more comes down to what's going to look good on you. If you have super cool undertones, probably not going to go with this one. It's probably not the best. And then I like the size. I like the packaging. I like, they're just so easy to use. When you have a bigger eyeshadow palette, it can be a little bit less idiot proof. These are definitely idiot proof. They're natural, they're everyday, the colors work well together. You can get a million looks from super dramatic to super subtle for work. And what else did I put? I think that's all I put. That's all I wrote down. So I don't have anything else to say. If you have any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you've done looks with them. If you want me to do a tutorial video, please subscribe on YouTube because that really does help me a lot. Thanks for watching.